Right then, here we go. Good Friday Footy at Marvel Stadium, and for both teams, this carries a lot of weight. It's heavier than a tray of Coles Easter hot cross buns. For Carlton, it's about maintaining momentum. They finally broke through and got on the winners' column with a 71 thumping of West Coast. And yes, it was West Coast, but this was their highest score since 2023, and more importantly, it looked like they were having fun again. Injuries struck Carlton though in this win. We lose Harry McKay and Brodie Kemp, and the Blues sit 1-4, and it's time to get on the winners' podium. For North, this might be the biggest test of Alastair Clarkson's era at North. Good Friday Footy is meant to be the showpiece, but they've rarely fired a shot in recent years. 1 win from 5, 3 straight 100-plus scores conceded, and an injury list that is starting to build bigger than a North Melbourne recruitment drive. It's pressure Footy at Marvel Stadium. No excuses. One of these sides leads with hope, the other one with nothing but headlines. Let's get into it. So let's look at the tail of the tape then. Their record very similar, 1-4 and 1-4, 17th meets 16th, with an average points for Carlton of 78.6, their 10th, and a 68.4 for North, 16th. Average points against, 115.6 for North Melbourne versus 84 by the Blues. Inside 50 differential looking quite healthy for the Blues at 5th versus 18 for North. Contested possessions, we are the number one side with the most contested possessions. North Melbourne in that 11th situation. Turnover differential, though, this is where you really see the hallmarkers. 18 for the Blues, 7th for North Melbourne, 2nd of tackles inside 50 for the Blues, 17 for North Melbourne, and marks inside 15, both teams in the lower echelons. Last 4 meetings, Carlton have all won them, all by 52 points. So it is a game here where you'd really expect the Blues to be really strong and real confident. However, the narrative has changed with Blues start being very dicky. You may forgive North Melbourne fans for thinking this is a true 50-50 game. Let's look at them key matchups, though, that may separate the two sides. With Harry McKay out, it's got to be Charlie Curnow's stage. North have leaked 15 marks inside 50. Their backline is in for a long afternoon. Charlie Curnow has got to keep himself free. Does this mean Lewis Young comes in, plays in full forward, allowing him to roam? This is a real key pillar for the Blues, and they don't want to get into a situation where they just target Charlie all the time. It's not about having the numbers here. It's about having the execution. So this is going to be a really interesting battle. The other interesting battle is going to be Cripps and Chera versus LDU and Sheasel. Carlton's engine room has shown signs of life, even though they are 1-4. Chera has been in some real good form without really blowing the door down. Sheasel's growing midfield stature has added a dangerous outside layer for North. So the LDU versus Cripps battle and then the Chera being the outlet is very integral to this game. It's going to be a fascinating battle between 4 very good players. Carroll and Sard versus North's exit game. Both sides like to build up. Carlton's halfbacks like to apply heat early and close and try and cut the angles off, where North like to build up from the back with short kicks. Carlton have got to shut down their early exits, their ability just to move the forward zones. The forward pressure has been an issue for the Blues. They're either incredibly hot, their small forwards of putting pressure on very early, but if you take the risky kick and go over the top, Carlton have hemorrhaged defensive half scores. For the Blues, it's been a real higgledy-piggledy. They almost go too quickly from the back half, which then results in that long bomb. So Carroll and Sard are going to have to use their happiness and their skills to really make this work. We know Sard last week got up the ground. It allowed Carroll to nip in. He's a very intelligent player. We need to see a lot of that. And another battle is going to be Carlton's small forwards versus North's defensive half crumbs. With Carlton really in an area here, the pressure really falls on Durden, Fogarty and Motlop to really make the defence shaky. We have seen North really susceptible to the ground ball in their defensive half, and this is where Carlton have got to break it open. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say. Stay out the back of their marking contest like Durden did last week, allowing you to always take a man and definitely apply that pressure. It's going to be a real fascinating battle. And then the turnover differential. Both of these sides are two of the worst in turnover differential. Whoever butchers it less really does win by default. Carlton's forward half pressure is where their strength is. It's very integral that they turn this, though, into pressure-based turnover. We've seen a lot of teams get a bit caught out by this because Carlton do tackling inside 50 incredibly well. But we know once you go over that first layer, you take that risky kick. Once you're into Carlton's midfield, that's where the pressure dies off and you are in trouble. This is going to be an integral battle for the Blues because, again, like we say, North like them short, sharp kicks out the back half, what you expect from a Clarkson side. They are where Carlton genuinely do fall off as teams spread the zone and get into the midfield way too easy. So let's look at the game style, the deep dive. Carlton are very structured. They are a territory pressure-based side that is really trying to find a new avenue to goal. They're a territory-first team, and it always has been that way since 2023. It's not beauty. It's about winning the contest, getting it forward, locking it in, and creating scoreboard opportunities from your forward half pressure. Carlton are the number one contested possession rate side in the AFL, meaning they win the ball at the source better than anyone, but they also keep it in the pressure furnace longer than most. A lot of people look at this stat nowadays and go, oh, this is good, because in the 80s, everyone used to have a dust-up. In 2025, this is a flawed stat because if you are, a lot of these stats are Carlton winning it from the source and keeping it in the mix of the danger area. Carlton needs to get that spread, and we saw it open up under no pressure last week against the Eagles. It looks good. Carlton have got to find that to keep it in the pressure source, but get it away when that pressure hits 180, 190. Get it on the outside and still know that you can battle in the furnace. Carlton are second for tackles inside 50. Once it's locked in, we suffocate you. The problem is because they're so high up the ground and play such a dangerous style of football, once it gets into that midfield pockets of space, it hemorrhages goals. So this is a real area here where Carlton have got to maybe commit to players a little bit wider on the spread. Sometimes they become too condensed, very easy outlet balls. Carlton have got to make sure that if you are playing that dynamic early source pressure game, you have got a second wall. At the minute, Carlton's second wall looks like Hadrian's wall today. And fifth for inside 50 tackle differential. This is fascinating. They get lots of looks at it, but they are low scores. They are low percentage areas. Carlton's weaknesses are that 18th for scoring efficiency. All that hard work isn't converting goals. So we're basically, when you look at first for contested rate, second for tackles inside 50, you're working hard. The pressure indicators are good. When you're 18th for scoring efficiency, it means you're working so hard to be very shit. Basically, Carlton have got to start getting their just rewards from that. And from that, they're 16th for marks inside 50. Carlton play a very simplistic game plan. When you've got Harry McKay and Charlie Curnow, an alien would see this and go, all right, just kick it a lot of times inside 50, everything will be gross. That is a big area of concern for the Blues because when you do that, it becomes floaty, it becomes predictable, and teams intercept very easy. Carlton at 18 for shots at goalpost inside 50. Shot creation quality is... So Carlton have got to look at this. So when you look at the structural flaws, McKay and Curnow, when they play together, they clap space inside 50. And what that means is they go and lead in the same areas. So what could be the fixes for that? You want to isolate a player deep inside 50 and then allow someone to structure up. Now, the obvious would be isolate Curnow. I disagree. You want to isolate whoever's playing full forward and allow Curnow to have the space to be that link man because he can kick goals from 55. Durden and Fogarty need to be buzzing with Motlop at the feet of the full forward and whoever the link is at half forward. So if that is Charlie Curnow, someone needs to go with him. And then Hollands and Cottrell really need to provide high leading time targets, to drag defenders away out of the zone and give them that ability to hit full forward with the pocket forwards there. A key person here will be Adam Cerra, who can be a surgeon with Sam Walsh when they are out in space. Cerra is a better kick than Sam Walsh. His ability to spot up leading targets and not just bomb it long is going to be really integral to this for Carlton to go to that next level. They're playing a team that has incredible defensive shape that is vulnerable. So Cerra is going to be a real key here for Carlton to try and look at that. Why Sam Walsh is absolutely critical. Walsh is a vital link between Carlton's midfield and their forward 50 entry points. Overlap run to shift defences laterally. He's got quick hands. And when he's out in space, he is actually quite an effective kick. The two-way running as well allows Carlton to set a forward half trap that is protected by his midfield. Both him and Cerra have abnormal tackle numbers. So without him, Carlton's ball movement becomes a straight line and predictable. Teams can clog space with Charlie Kerner with ease because of the predictability of inside 50s, and pressure rebounds hurt them badly. This week against a team that is desperately trying to slow the game down, Walsh's ability to change gears and really be the metronome in this team is absolutely massive. North Melbourne, Clarkson under siege. Clarkson's style hasn't really changed that much. Short kicking, possession first model. It really protects them in transition. Shizo and Luke McDonald, they have to control the ball across halfback as they open it up, along with players like McKercher. And then the corridor hopes to open with short kicks as they move forward zones. Where it falls is so slow, it invites pressure, and I don't think they have a lot of good ball users. It creates that overuse by foot, leading to high-risk turnovers in very high-risk zones. And then the poor exit patterns. When they're under siege, you know what's going to happen. It's very similar to Carlton. You know he's going to go long, and because they're committing men back, there isn't crummers at that aerial contest. So if the ball does hit the deck, it's very easy to whisk it away at the halfway line. And you see that with Carlton. When Carlton are under pressure, they kick down the wing. There is no smalls at the fall of the ball. They're hoping TDK, Harry McKay, when he's played, takes that mark on the wing and everything resets. When it doesn't and it hits the deck, it comes back with interest. So it's playing that kind of game of cat and mouse. Do you commit someone into the midfield, taking away from the defensive half and the forward half to win that ground ball? Or do you just keep them back and then keep two players forward so you've got that entry? When North are pressured, the kick mark chain breaks down. They panic with handballs. They cough up between the arc, which leads to easy goals against, particularly their susceptibility to overuse the football inside 50. You see they get a little bit panicked as that press comes very late. Harry Sheasel, for me, is a key conductor here. Carlton have to put serious work in him playing the give and go and looking to change the angle with that 45 kick. When you force him long and wide, you do half the damage. When he comes short and he goes back to that 45 kick, it opens up the angle on the inside 50. Players like Luke Barker and stuff will cut you apart with their entries inside there. And LDU has to absorb Cripps and Hewitt's pressure and still produce clearances. Otherwise, North's entire exit game could be under pressure around stoppage. Let's look at the tactical side of things. Shots at goal per inside 50. Carlton are the worst side in the comp with 37%. North 15, 46%. Carlton, one of the slowest sides to get a shot at goal, 17.7 touches to a shot versus 14th, 16.1. Marks inside 50, Carlton are 16th, North at 17th, and opponents' scoring efficiency, this is against Carlton, 7th. Teams literally shows that it's very low percentage shots, but teams are getting it versus nearly 55% of scoring efficiency against North, meaning they're getting it into good areas. Carlton really flood that. Carlton have to control the ball movement and don't panic kick. They'll score easy on North's weak defensive system. North have to create high transition chances. If they get trapped in the back half, this is a problem. Let's look at players to watch. Adam Cerra, tactically here, key to inside 50, along with Sam Walsh. Both of these have to be linked men and really control Carlton's tempo and structure. And for North Melbourne, Harry Sheasel, their best user of the ball. The Blues must cut off his short game influence. And surprisingly, we're looking at Jack Darling here. If they get territory control, he has got to be that target and make sure he leads into pockets of space that, even when under pressure, their midfield can find to give them another avenue at goal. Pommy's prediction then, I'm going to go with Carlton by 28 points. Best on ground, I'm going with Sammy Walsh. Curnow bag, we're going to go with 5 goals and a wild card moment. Sam Walsh to kick a goal on the run to lift the lid in quarter 3. For North, this is more about than a Good Friday game. This is about getting that credibility under Clarkson, lose badly, and again they'll start to roar and question, is it the right moment? For Carlton, it's about proving last week wasn't vibes. This is a chance to start building something real against another team that is slightly better than Eagles, and then the big one against Geelong. No excuse, no hiding. Deliver, or are you going to cop it? Let me know your predictions in chat. I hope you know these styles of previews take a lot of time, but I hope you're really enjoying them. Until next time, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and I'll see you very soon. Pommy out.
Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.